Holy shit, guys. Guess what just happened yesterday? Lady Gaga's fifth album dropped yesterday. Just got my copy from Target. It was only $15. So that's one of the cheapest prices you're going to get. So I'm here to review Lady Gaga. And I don't mean to persuade you or anything. This is just my own opinion. So we begin the album with Diamond Heart, which is pretty much an autobiographical track. She talks about being a go-go girl. She also talks about how she was sexually assaulted, which we know from a previous song that she created for the documentary that was up for the Academy Awards. And it's a really it has a really, it's very upbeat. It's very pop. And I know that a lot of people thought this album was going to be country, but it's kind of like a pop country Americana edge. And then we go to Ayo, which is just a really fun beat. Um, Lady Gaga is saying that she kind of represents like a cigarette or a bong pipe talking to some guy, and she's like, "You're going to smoke me. You're going to smoke me well." Mirror on the ceiling. You're going to see my reflection wherever you go. It's such an awesome tune and very catchy with the lyrics and everything. And it's going to be probably the biggest hit of the entire album just because it's most like her other songs. Very pop, kind of techno country pop. And then we head on over to Joanne, which is the title track. It's a very moving song, very raw, and in my opinion, has probably the best um, uh, audio features to it, the best acoustics. You can hear every single string on the guitar, every single tap on the guitar. And her voice, you can hear the raspiness. You can feel the sadness, and you can feel hope too, and it just grabs you in and it lets us into her life. It's a pretty intimate song. We get to understand, Joanne was this amazing person that she never really got to know as her aunt, and it's also her middle name, so it's just has a really big meaning for the whole album. Then we go on to John Wayne, which is such a bad boy song, and Lady Gaga's just like, you know what? I hate dating all these Johns. I hate dating all these bad boys, but you know what? I love dating these bad boys. Take me in the back of your truck, take me in the back of your car, and let's ride. It's a really fun track. The chorus really pulls it together. All the verses are really cohesive, and it's just a fun pop country song. And like I said before, a lot of people thought this was country, but it's actually more like a country pop. And we even have some tracks in here that are not country pop. Dancing in Circles is more of a pop song alluding to some of her previous content, like from the Fame and the Fame Monster. And yes, it does have to do with masturbation. She kind of approved it on Twitter that it was. She has mentioned masturbation um, in the past. And, I mean, it's something every girl does. It's something every guy does. So might as well talk about, it is pleasurable. But in the song, she's not talking about how pleasurable masturbation is. She's talking about how she wants this guy and she wants to be with him. She wants to be intimate with him, but she can't. And so she has to take care of herself and her own intimacy and her own sexuality, which is kind of powerful because it teaches us that we can definitely take care of ourselves when we feel sadness and whatnot. And then, of course, we get to Perfect Illusion, which is not my favorite. I don't think it should have been the first single out. It only really has two verses, and the chorus keeps repeating itself into almost like a disco-esque techno pop kind of genre. Um, I don't think it carried a lot of meaning. I think that maybe Ayo should have been the first single, just because it really brings people into its rhythm. But it's such as life, and I feel bad because I know some people base the whole album on Perfect Illusion, but please give the album a shot if you were put off by Perfect Illusion. Next is Million Reasons, which is such a beautiful ballad. Um, you give me a million reasons, but I just need one reason to stay. And that kind of relates to a lot of people because you might be in a relationship, a friendship. You may have faced a lot of hardships, but it just takes, one stroke of luck or one person who loves you unconditionally to have a good relationship with that person or to keep living life. It's I think that it was a really good I guess you can say it's almost a second single to the track, to the album when she presented it, and she did a really good job with just the verses and the chorus. If I had a highway, I would run for the hills. And she's talking about, like, even if you offer me something really good, I might still be really afraid because I've been through so much. How can I trust you? And then we go on to Sinner's Prayer, which is just kind of a fun, like, country-esque track. We get taken in with this guitar riff that's really awesome and really pulls, the audience in and whoever's listening to the track. It's just kind of like a and you can just really jive to it. So, congrats, Lady Gaga. Fantastic guitar riff. And I do have to hand it to her. She had to learn guitar for this album. And she is a pianist. And and I mean, you've seen her in the dive bar tour, how she's playing guitar and she's really rocking it. So props to my lady. And then we go to Come to Mama, and it's not a country song, it's not a pop song. It kind of has the air of a 1950s-esque song. Come to Mama, tell me who hurt you. There's gonna be no future if we don't figure out. Come to Mama. And it has a very like 50s almost bop sound to it. And it's actually a really soothing song because she's saying, like, we're going through all these hardships, we're going through all these bad times, but just know that things are going to get better and we have to stick together. It's the one song that's it's very uplifting, and it keeps the reflection theme throughout the album very well. We go to Hey Girl with Florence Welch from Florence and the Machine. So you have Lady Gaga, fantastic voice. You have Florence Welch, fantastic voice. And they just really, their voices sing together. Sometimes it gets a little confusing because they go back and forth between their voices almost instantaneously. So sometimes it can be like, oh my God, that was Lady Gaga. And there's Florence, and there's Lady Gaga again. But we tend to, as the song goes on, you learn about the cohesiveness of the whole song, and that it's about, and this is something that I've read through other reviews, is that there's a lot of hostility between female musicians and singer-songwriters in the industry right now. And by Lady Gaga inviting Florence onto this one track, she's kind of saying, hey girls, let's stick together, let's help each other out. And with the background synth going, it's kind of a funky song, and I think that it's going to do well with us and the listeners. Angel Down has to be the saddest song of the whole track. It was dedicated to Trayvon Martin, which happened a couple years ago in Florida. An African American teenager was killed point blank by a guy who's said to be a security guard when he wasn't. And Trayvon Martin was, of course, innocent. And Lady Gaga saying in this track how, once she keeps seeing angels down, she keeps seeing these good people getting shot down all over the place in riots. And even though that there's so many riots going on and so much misery, she's saying, you have to fight to keep your integrity, to keep justice, and keep asking your leaders, your government, people who are the heads of nonprofits and companies, keep asking people in your neighborhood, just don't sit around, do something about what's going on. It's a very moving piece. It has a very almost like lilting melody to it and rhythm. It's almost kind of like it sounds like a lullaby. Of course, we wouldn't want to use it as a lullaby because of what it's referencing. Then Grigio Girls, I can't believe this is just a bonus track because, in my opinion, it's one of the best songs on the track. It's basically saying, hey girls, if you got your troubles, drink some Pinot Grigio. We've all been there. It's a fun track. I think it probably relates not only to girls, but guys and girls who just kind of, we have a lot of troubles, so let's hang out, let's drink, let's socialize, let's have a good time. And it has a lot of good, near the end, where the bridge is, it has some very good harmonies between Lady Gaga and some of the backup female singers. And I have to hand it to you, it's a very catchy tune, and it's one that I'm just going to keep playing over and over and over again. And then the last original track is Just Another Day. I kept listening to it and I was like, what does this sound like? What does this sound like? I don't know. And my boyfriend said, it sounds like a Beatles song. And I'm like, you're right. It kind of has that dun 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 dun. A very like upbeat, like British pop sounding jazz track, I guess you can say. And it's just talking about, like I love you, and I'm walking through the streets and I'm thinking about you, and it's just another day, in downtown New York, uptown New York, wherever you want to be. And it kind of leaves the album feeling kind of complete because you're like, oh, it's just another day. I just listened to this fantastic album, and that was just another fantastic track to the album. And of course, we have Angel Down, the work tape, where we get to hear the rawness and raspiness and passion of Lady Gaga as she just kind of unleashes all of her Gaga-ness, I guess you can say, into this track, uh, it's slightly different than the original Angel Down. So overall, I'd have to give this album probably like a 9 or an 8. I liked the originality that she gave to the album and the different kinds of songs that she gave us and the reflection purpose that the album served. It got us to think about, where we are in the world, how we want to improve the world, how to reconnect with ourselves. And it taught us that, Lady Gaga is not just, a techno pop singer. She can sing almost any genre. So congratulations to Lady Gaga. Wonderful album. Clap, clap, clap. And pause up. And thank you for listening to this video.